Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to my living room. Today we're doing a couple Q&As. I'm going to do some rapid fire ones from the YouTube comments. If you have a question you would like answered in the comments on the show, please go ahead. And I will be drawing the 5 winners of the breakthrough call from last week's episode. So today, Jelly the Fish 425 says, "Hey Danny, it would be awesome if you could look at my case. I had HA for a pretty long time, ED plus excessive working out, and thanks to you I recovered last May. I gained about 12 kilos, which would have been a nightmare earlier, but now we're smarter and we know it's for our health. I've just experienced my 10th period in a row, and around 4 to 5 months in, I started introducing back my workouts. First easy Pilates, then fitness and running. In the beginning, my cycles were almost perfect, 28 to 27 days, but the last period came after 32 and the one before that, 25. It's still within the range of normal, but do you think it's a sign that something is going, quote, wrong again?" So this is a good question. The reality is your cycle will fluctuate throughout the year, and this is just based on what is happening in your life. Sorry, I'm realizing it's really very echoey in here. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so this is largely related to what's happening in your life right now. And as long as you're within the normal range, overall, I'm not particularly worried. But what you should actually be looking at are the phases of your cycle. So was it just a longer follicular phase, but once you ovulated, your luteal phase, that phase between ovulation and your bleed, if that was long enough, you're golden, you're gravy, don't worry about it. It was probably a stressful time, a stressful month, or maybe you did eat a little less or over-exercise. Reflect, resolve it, see if you can ovulate sooner the next time. If you're finding that your follicular phases are going long and then your luteal phases are going short, that's more of a sign that you may be moving backwards a little bit. So say the 32-day cycle was a really long follicular phase and a short luteal phase, and then the 25-day was a regular length, maybe 14 days or whatever, and then a normal length luteal phase or a short luteal phase, that's a problem, right? But if you had a 25-day with a normal follicular phase and a normal luteal phase, it's fine. That's complicated, but if you know what she's asking, you'll understand that. Okay. Next question. Didos 9554. She says, "I'm 22 and I started dieting again." Wait a second. Yeah, this is a question. "I'm 22 and I started dieting when I was 18 through 20. I've been going to the gym for 2 to 3 years prior to that. I'm naturally thin. I'm not necessarily skinny, but rather skinny fat. I've always been like this. Since I first had my period at 13, it only came every 2 to 3 months. I didn't even know what calories were back then, and I ate lots and lots of junk every day, at least 3,000 calories. I didn't work out, but I am a person that works a lot. I love walking, being in nature, and when I started going to the gym, I started bulking and gaining weight. I didn't feel comfortable anymore, and I couldn't even bend down properly. So when I started dieting, I did 1,800 calories a day, and it all went well until I started eating only 600 to 700 a day, and I didn't eat any fat, protein, or salt because I thought my low blood pressure was high blood pressure. Started losing 90% of my hair. I got insane acne, hair and face and body, and was cold all the time, insomnia. My cycle became really long and I didn't ovulate anymore, but somehow I still had a period. No discharge, nothing for 2 years. I went to the doctor and they said I had PCOS. I took metformin. It didn't do anything. Then I stopped and did keto. 2,500 calories a day, suddenly had discharge again and 3 periods. Then I started uni and I didn't have time to eat. Lost some weight, only ate 700 calories worth of lunch. I physically couldn't eat anymore. During my gym phase, I force-fed myself until I almost threw up to get my protein and calories in, and I will never do that again. I would rather starve than feel claustrophobic in my body because I can't breathe. Then I started reintroducing some carbs last month. I got my period back Calories were at 2,000. I had to go down on fat as I was getting tummy aches and nausea. This month too, but no period or discharge for 2 weeks. Then I started eating 2,300 and then I have discharge again. But sometimes I still get discharge with less calories and sometimes not. Why is that? I move the same every day. I don't work out. I just walk 1 to 2 hours. I'm 170 centimeters and I'm 57 kilograms. That's how much I've been weighing since I was 14. My body naturally goes up and down to that number if I lose or gain weight. My FSH was in the negatives and my estrogen was on the lower end. Testosterone and DHEA were a little high, but I've read that can cause HA too. Since I never really had any issues like acne or hair loss or a freaking beard like ever, it just came out of nowhere when I started dieting. And when I look back, I also ovulated and had a regular period when I was weighing even less. I don't quite understand what's going on. Okay, so without knowing your full case, it's possible that you do have some PCOS underneath your HA, but you tend to go in and out of the HA or in and out of the spectrum, which always needs to be resolved before being able to even consider resolving PCOS. What it sounds like is a couple things. One, you're very, very aware of how much you've eaten and when, and you're very aware of your weight and its fluctuations, which tells me you are a high control person who tracks food, and that hyper awareness of what you're eating when is a clue toward HA and why you may dip in and out of that situation a lot. Obviously, if you went down to 600 to 700 calories at any point, that's going to mess you up pretty good. So that makes sense. Like your thyroid just, so you lost 90% of your hair. But you probably resolved a lot of that, bringing it back in. Taking metformin probably didn't help you if you were, it doesn't always help everyone, right? And you may not have even had HA, so I don't know about that. But at 170 centimeters tall, 57 kilos, you're pretty lean. So while you may feel like this is how I naturally sit, it doesn't mean that if you're not on the higher end of your natural point, your body will tolerate stress less, and so your cycle will fluctuate more frequently, like it will be less regular. But yeah, and then when you say I had no period or discharge for 2 weeks, and then I started eating and I have discharge again, ? That's normal. A strategy that we do with clients a lot is just increase their food till they start to see that cervical mucus. That's something that we do. And then she says, but sometimes I still get discharge with less calories. Yeah, that's definitely not unusual. Why is that, she asks. So cervical mucus is in direct correlation with having follicles of a certain maturation on your ovaries. So to a point, it doesn't always matter exactly what you were eating. If you have follicles at that level on your ovaries, you're going to see signs of hormonal activity. Just because you're seeing discharge, it's a sign of hormonal activity, but it doesn't mean you're definitely going to ovulate. So you can eat enough to have that level of hormonal activity, but not enough to actually ovulate. And that is really key and really important. So if you're seeing discharge for significant amounts of time and you're not ovulating, you're still potentially not eating enough. So we'll do that with clients where we'll go, okay, well, let's take you from, we don't actually track calories, but say we did, let's take you from 2,000 to 2,300, and then boom, you start seeing more mucus and you finally ovulate. Well then, yeah, you finally ate enough for the rest of the hormonal activity that you were lacking to go ahead and like do something and work. That makes sense. Okay, there you go, girl. That's what I got for you. I hope it helps. If you have follow-up questions, let me know. But she was asking that from the PCOS or a PCOS versus HA video that I have. Okay, we have 5 winners of the breakthrough call. The breakthrough call is an opportunity to meet with me one-on-one to go through your case and determine the most important area for you to be working on to help you break through your plateau. I do these every now and then. I'm currently in a phase of doing it. I advertise it on the podcast and I'm doing a giveaway for it here. Totally free. You guys are getting it without having to do any vetting. You being Katie Osterman 4701, Eva Fenizariosi 4458, Karuchi 13, Madeline Peplo, Moody Jazz 89. You guys won. So you have to email me, Danny at the HA Society, in order to redeem. Let's get on the calendar. These calls are ideal for people who are seriously considering coaching and just need that one-on-one time, particularly with me, to figure out if this is, what their next steps are, what do I think they need to do, and then is their situation right for us or not? If so, let's do coaching. It'll be great, but it's no obligation. Hopefully we can, at a minimum, get you a breakthrough that helps you finally reach your goals. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, guys. I can't wait to see you next week with a surprise. Until then, enjoy. Please make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And don't forget, if you live in the US, Jewel Wellness, your most period recovery friendly supplement, organ meat, beef liver, and oyster capsules. Jewel Wellness, go ahead and check that out because our beef liver is 50% off right now. And if you use the code HA Society, you get an additional 12% off. So that's crazy town. You better jump on that. It's only for the month of October. jewelwellness.com. I'm Danny from the HA Society. Thank you so much, and we will see you next week for another episode.